That's what I thought. A hook shot at 12. Good!
Get inside. Unbelievable. Julius serving.
Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win it! They win it!
From the Boston Garden, the Celtics about to be introduced to this crowd. Don Nelson just trotting out. He will be one of the starting forwards working in Tommy Heinsohn's lineup today. Paul Silas, the other forward. And here comes the center, Dave Cowens. For him, he has had a bad series, but he thinks today he can turn it around against Nate Thurmond, who has been absolutely marvelous for Coach Bill Fitch. Now the guards. JoJo White, number 10. He runs the attack. And Charlie Scott, number 11. Mindy Rudolph, I tell you, you can feel the air of anticipation here in the Garden.
Celtics need this game bad, Brett. They cannot afford to lose this game. Give them 3 losses and go back to Cleveland, because that Cleveland is a very, very, very difficult place in order for the Celtics to win. We spoke to Heinsohn before the game, and Tommy Heinsohn is not happy with the Celtic offense. He never realized, possibly before, how important John Havlicek is to running this particular ball club.
And Bill Fitch knows it, too, Mindy. He has been taking advantage of that with keen defensive work on the part of the Cavaliers.
And Bill told us before the game that he's not going to make any changes unless Heinsohn makes changes. He is happy with his club. He is satisfied the way they're playing. They're a disciplined ball club. They work the ball up the court. They do not take a bad selection of shots. And they're going to be very, very difficult to beat today. They've got the momentum going.
The John Havlicek strategy simply is this. He's going to sit on the bench probably for most of the first half. Dr. Thomas Silva is conferring with him. If the Celtics get in trouble or there is no offensive movement, then Tommy Heinsohn might go to him. But Heinsohn and general manager Red Auerbach are going to try to spot Havlicek in the second half if they feel that Bill Fitch's team is a little bit tired. One distinct advantage has emerged for Cleveland in this series. They have a deeper and a stronger bench, particularly with Austin Carr and Campy Russell. Both are capable of coming off of Fitch's bench and scoring 20 points in any given game. The official with his back to you, wearing number 26, is Richie Powers. He is working along with Bob Rakel. And we are set to start the game. Number 42, Nate Thurmond walks in there. He'll jump it against Dave Cowens. Winner of the tip will get the ball to start the fourth quarter. Celtics have it. Now we'll set the defense. Snyder going with JoJo White. Jim Brewer, who's been all over Paul Silas, has him. And Bingo Smith is trailing Don Nelson. Offensive foul on Charlie Scott. He has picked up the game's first foul. Heinsohn couldn't believe it. He yelled at Rakel as Rakel trotted past the Celtic bench. Pressure being exerted immediately by the Celtics. There it is Snyder who is coming up. He's working against JoJo White. So put Charlie Scott over on Jimmy Clemens. Don Nelson is taking Jim Brewer. Dave Cowens, of course, has Nate Thurmond. Clemens has Nelson on a switch off. Thurmond trying to get the pick, and Cowens jumps off. Clemens comes up over Dave and hits it. Jimmy Clemens from the outside has the game's first point production.
As we said earlier in the top of the show, Brent, Cleveland will work the 24-second clock. The clock was down to 5 that time. Very deliberate offense.
Pulling foul over in the corner against Dick Snyder. So we've had 2 quick fouls in this game, one against Scott and one against Snyder.
Foul was called against Bingo Smith.
It was against Bingo on that side.
Smith.
One against Smith, right, and one against Charlie Scott. Nelson passes back in the corner, and a 3-second violation.
When you overpass and overlook, don't take the shot when it's ready. Your men position themselves for rebounding, Brent. 3-second violations occur.
Here Mendy is Bingo Smith working against Paul Silas on this side. Nelson looking for Brewer. Smith comes inside. Cowens intimidate him, and the foul is so important underneath the boards. Charlie Scott with possession comes up, penetrates, gives off to Don Nelson. Rimmed in and out of the glass, and it was Nate Thurmond who controlled the defensive board. 10:44 to go in the first quarter. 2-0, Cleveland leading Boston. Thurmond got Cowens to fake, but there was a whistle, and he traveled. Took an extra step.
Dragged that pivot foot before he released the ball.
Now the Cavaliers, Mendy, go to some backcourt pressure. JoJo up quickly. Snyder takes Scott. Cowens out high away from the basket. Here's Scott with his jump shot. And the Celtics' first points are on the board. 2-2, 10:23 to go in the first.
Charlie Scott complaining that he possibly got hit in the face that time on the shot. A matchup we've got to look at when the Celtics get on offense, Brent, is the Brewer-Silas matchup. Brewer has got to work to keep Silas off the offensive boards.
Nelson picking up Brewer, and Clemens fires. He's 1 for 2 with a miss that time, and it's JoJo White who's got it on the floor for the Celtics. Holds up his dribble. Don Nelson's second shot. 0 for 2, and Cowens at the offensive board puts Boston ahead for the first time.
I tell you, Cowens just pushed Thurman away from that board and picked up the rebound and the field goal.
Cowens comes out to Harris Nate Thurman. One team foul against Cleveland, none, of course, against Boston. Theirs was offense. Thurman on the drive, and Cowens came out and pushed against him.
Let's watch this replay that I spoke about. Now, Nelson was missed his shot. Watch Cowens. He's in the center of your picture. Right arm onto Thurman. Of course, it's no call if there's no whistle.
Foul's so very important in a game like this, and that one against Dave Cowens right now. Scott has one, and Bingo Smith playing with the only one for Cleveland. One apiece on the team side. Snyder pops. Score is tied at 4, and we've got 9 minutes and 15 seconds to go in the first quarter. Charlie Scott drives inside. Great body control. Slid off to the right side and used the glass.
Brewer could have taken him. Brewer could have stepped out and blocked Charlie's path to the basket. Decided not to do it.
Clemens came around Nelson, slipped and went down. Cavaliers with control, trailing by a field goal. Paul Silas cutting off Bingo Smith. Smith outside with a miss. Cowens controls, quick pass, and it was short of Charlie Scott. Tried to force the break that time. Jim Clemens was back to cut off the passing lane. Jimmy Brewer with the ball on the floor comes across to Thurman. Thurman sets the play. After the defensive turnover, here's Bingo Smith missing again. Short turnaround. Came out the other side.
Bingo Smith had Paul Silas down low that time. He's got to take him outside because he's a lot faster than Silas and an excellent perimeter shooter. There's no way that Bingo will score against Silas down low.
Pass went off of JoJo White's fingertips. Cavaliers with the ball. They trail at 6-4 and 8:15 to go in the first quarter. Coming up later on CBS, the Colonial Open. Lee Trevino with the lead. Here's Bingo Smith, and Paul Silas is watching him. Bingo obviously a little quicker. He'll try to move Silas around. JoJo White came out, and he fouled Dick Snyder.
I have noticed some exchange of words out here between these ball players. I noticed Brewer and Scott going nose to nose, and I noticed Bingo Smith and Silas going nose to nose.
There are some bad feelings.
A little ill feeling out here, right?
Clemens to Bingo. Silas staying. Oh, great pass to Dick Snyder, who got open on the back door, and Bingo picked him up, and we're tied at 6, and we come down inside. It's 7:50 in the first quarter from the Boston Garden. Eastern Conference Final. 2 victories for Cleveland, 2 victories for Boston. Neither team has broken through on the road. Charlie Scott, right corner. Another miss. The battle. I believe the ball was touched last by Cleveland. Yes, it was. They were in control, and again, Bill Fitch is up, complaining that somebody got up over one of his players' backs, and there should have been a loose ball foul. Charlie Scott at the top of the circle, comes right side. This time he's forced out by good defense. Clemens and Snyder were right there. Snyder with a pass for Brewer. He's open.
We're going to have a wipeout of the field goal and a backcourt foul. Prior to the pass, Snyder was fouled. Wipe away the field goal, call the backcourt foul for 2 shots. Now, you'll pick this up now. You'll see the block by Snyder as he attempts to release. He'll be fouled by JoJo White, and there's the whistle. 2-shot foul on the line. Good free throw shooter, I might add.
Snyder makes the first, and because it's in the backcourt, he has another one coming. Now we have 3 team fouls against Boston already at 7:26 and 1 against Cleveland. So with a couple of more, the Celtics, of course, will slide into that penalty situation. It's 8-6. Cavaliers lead the Celtics, 7:18 to go in the first. Nate Thurman and Cowens were battling on one side, but they're going to be coming the other way. A 3-second violation. That is the second time now that we've had the 3-second call.
I'll tell you, Tommy Heinsohn just threw a towel underneath the seat that he is on, and Killerly grabbed him, but one of the referees caught it, and Heinsohn has been hit with a technical foul. So
Bingo Smith will shoot the technical, and he missed it.
Now, of course, they haven't scored a point on that, which is really not the important thing, Brent. The important thing is that Heinsohn's only allowed one, and if he picks up another, he will be in the locker room waiting for this game to end. I expect him to be pretty quiet from here on in and be rather selective in his remarks to the officials.
All right, Mendy, we come down towards 7-10 right now, and 8-6 Cavaliers lead it by 2. And so far, it is starting out to be the kind of basketball game we anticipated from the Boston Garden. Emotions are running very high. Snyder outside. Battle for the boards. Cavaliers control. Second chance coming up. Smith from Clemens.
A little football handoff under the legs. Bingo Smith will hurt Silas from outside as long as he keeps him there.
Woody Hayes probably taught Clemens how to snap like that at Ohio State. Knocked away as Cowens tried to go to Nelson. Good defense by the Cavaliers. They force a turnover. They lead it by 4 points in 6:38. Great inside pass to Brewer, who was forced out by Nelson. Here's Clemens. Quickly back to Bingo, over here to Brewer. Ball movement, but now they need a shot. Shot clock comes down inside of 10. Here's Smith, and he traveled.
Bingo Smith had his shot, did not take it. Wanted a little better angle and is really angry at himself for doing what he did, for putting the ball through the floor.
We've got our first timeout from the Boston Garden. 6 minutes and 26 seconds. Cavaliers lead the Celtics by 4.
Did you know children are dying because of AIDS?
Did you know a child is orphaned every 15 seconds?
Every 15 seconds.
AIDS is devastating children and young people's life around the world.
Millions
are losing parents, teachers, brothers, and sisters.
Children are lacking the knowledge they need to keep themselves safe.
They need your support.
Basketball is just a game. This is real life for millions of children.
UNICEF works in over 150 countries to stop the devastation of AIDS.
We can create a better future.
Take the step now.
Unite for children.
Unite for children.
Unite for children. Unite against AIDS.
What else can you say?
What a play! Big shot! Oh my goodness!
The crowd is going wild.
If this isn't the best game in league history, it's up there. Holy smokes! This is what the WNBA is all about. Unbelievable!
And a reminder to all of our CBS fans on the West Coast, you will get bonus coverage today. Game 7, Phoenix at Golden State, the decisive game in the West. That's coming up after the Colonial National. Of course, we've got Lee Trevino leading there. We'll have a halftime report. JoJo White with control. The Celtics have turned it over 6 times already, Mendy.
You got a foul down low with Nate Thurman, and you're going to see a battle all afternoon with Nate Thurman denying Cowens position on the court. Now watch it. They're at the right of your screen. There's Cowens and Thurman doing battle.
Celtics regain control, and Nelson hits the field goal. Now what's important about that foul situation is that's the first one against Nate Thurman, 2 on the team side against the Cavaliers, and 3 against the Celtics. We come down inside of 6 minutes left in the first quarter. It's 10-8. Celtics trail the Cavaliers. Game 5, Eastern Conference Final of the NBA. Jimmy Brewer. Cowens with tremendous position. Backed Nate Thurman out of there and controlled the defensive board. Now the Celtics will go for the tying basket. JoJo got it.
JoJo White off a double pick. Good perimeter shooting.
Pressure from the Celtics. All Silas working against Bingo Smith. At the other end, of course, it is Brewer who will take Silas and try to block him away. Not give the Celtics any second chances. 5:25 to go in the first. Bingo Smith back out to Snyder. Threw it a little too deep, but Jimmy Clemens reacted quickly and retrieved it. Clemens up with the shot. Battle underneath, back to Clemens. Clemens up and Charlie Scott knocked it away, and there was a foul called against Scott, his second already.
Charlie Scott knocked it away, but you'll also watch Charlie Scott grab the wrist. Ferocious rebounding between Thurman and Cowens. Now you'll watch Charlie Scott leave his feet, foul against Clemens as he goes to the free throw line for 2 shots. And Boston's 4th team foul, Brent. It puts them in a little bit of a problem here early in the first quarter.
That's right, Mendy, because we've got 5 10s. Richie Powers warning the 5 players. Standing along the line. Wait until he shoots. Doesn't make any difference. He hit it. It's 12-10. Cavaliers over the Celtics.
We've got 4 fouls now called against the backcourt of Boston, which has been and is going to be Tommy Heinsohn's strategy. Pressure the ball. 2 on Scott and 2 on White.
JoJo. Battle of the boards, and it is Bingo Smith, the small forward on the Cavaliers. Pass to Brewer, who is breaking quickly from that other wing. Bingo Smith. JoJo White with control. Thurman got back on defense. Scott gets inside, and the ball was hit by Jimmy Clemens. Knocked out of bounds, and Charlie Scott will set up the Celtic play.
There was a lot of pushing and shoving and grabbing and holding as they're going up and down the court. Each team just taking an opportunity to hold somebody if they can do it.
This series has taken on a brand new intensity after those 2 games in Richfield, Ohio. Both of them won by the Cavaliers. Cowens up over Smith. Silas and Brewer. And there you can see the battle, and finally it is Silas who gets to the corner. So we get a second chance. As Jimmy Brewer that time could not take it away. Charlie Scott, air ball, and Silas was there and went to come back up.
And the ball was on the floor. It'll be a 1-shot foul. Foul on Jimmy Brewer.
3 team fouls against Cleveland. And as Mendy pointed out just moments ago, 4 already against Boston. And we've got 4:15 to go in the first. 12-10. Cavaliers lead it. Double team against Nelson. He comes up firing after taking a step back outside, and he has tied it.
One thing the Celtics need desperately is some point production up front, because Havlicek is on the bench, and they have not been getting it.
Nelson watching Brewer. Jimmy, of course, has been concentrating on Paul Silas at the other end, and not so much offensive, but he's been breaking open on the break here today, coming down from his wing, and that can happen when you've got a different man at the other side. It was Nelson battling Thurman with the shot clock running down, and a foul was called as Silas slid over there.
Let's watch this. You'll see the mismatch created on the pick. Now Nelson has Thurman as he goes. No foul there, but watch Silas come into the picture. There it is, on the wrist. Thurman will go to the free throw line. Boston being in the penalty situation for 2 shots. And Heinsohn hasn't sat down all game. He is really upset. He was upset when we saw him early in the day, Brent.
Yes, he was. He was more upset than Red Auerbach or I think anybody else in the Celtic organization. Besides the trainer, Frankie Shalat, he seemed quite nervous to me today.
Very, very uptight.
I'm not sure if Boston took Cleveland seriously when this series began, and then they won the first 2 games, and I think there was a tendency to let down after that. And now they're in a war here in the NBA's East. It's 13-12. Cavaliers leaded by a point in 3:33. Cowens rolling that hook shot. Contact as he came around. Nate Thurman was there on him, and Thurman has picked up the 4th team foul for Cleveland and his 2nd person.
Now that's one of the strategies that Tommy Heinsohn told us that he's going to do today, is to move Thurman around. Now watch Cowens. He'll move Thurman right across the floor, cause the foul. He feels that if he can wear Nate Thurman down, Cowens could be much more effective. Let's take a look at this from another angle. Now there's Cowens again. Everybody clearing out, and Thurman again causing the foul.
Cowens puts the Celtics ahead 14-13. 3:29 to go in the first quarter from the Boston Garden. Neither coach has gone to his bench yet. Brewer comes out to take the pass. Nelson taking him. Switch, and JoJo has Brewer. And here's Jimmy Clemens. Scott now must go with Brewer, and they pick him up right now. Shot clock important, and Brewer up over Charlie Scott. Cavaliers, Mendy, picked up that mismatch so quickly and burned the Celtics that time to regain the lead.
Good ball movement, causing a lot of switches and a lot of mismatches, and they pick them up, as you said.
15-14. Charlie Scott puts the Celtics back ahead as we start the seesaw. 2:50 to go in the first. Bingo Smith trying to draw the foul on Charlie Scott. Clemens with Cowens switching off on him, and as Nelson came up, there was a foul called underneath. Mindy, I wasn't sure, but we checked, and that foul was against Nate Thurmond. Bingo Smith was also there on Don Nelson, and of course Nate Thurmond now has picked up 3 fouls. Now remember that Jim Chones is out of this series because of that broken bone in his foot. And do you see that sign? I'm not so sure. He hasn't tired out yet, but he's got 3 fouls already.
If Thurmond doesn't foul out, he'll poop out.
Well, he has not tired yet, and let me say a word about that big guy. There were an awful lot of people who thought his career had ended when he was traded to Chicago. They didn't think he played that well with the Bulls last year, but he has come over to Cleveland, and he's been an inspirational leader for the team. And now with Chones out, what a valuable performer he's been. But if they have to take Thurmond out, they will be forced to bring on Luke Whitty or switch Jimmy Brewer into the pivot and let him play for a while there, or of course the rookie John Lambert. And Lambert last Sunday had so much trouble against Dave Cowens. Here's Thurmond with those 3 fouls right now. 2:28. Brewer outside over Nelson, lights it up.
Something you won't see very often is Jimmy Brewer taking a 20-footer. It'll be interesting now to see if the Celtics change their pattern and go down low to Cowens with Thurmond with 3 fouls. Let's watch this now and see how they play their pattern.
There's Cowens with the ball, Mindy, and I think you're right. I think they're going to let Dave handle it a lot more right now. He was popping out like he wanted it again. Wasn't he? Nelson on the turnaround. Thurmond controls the board, and we come down toward 2 minutes left in the first quarter. It's 18-17. Celtics up the Cavaliers. Brewer on the drive. Don Nelson is the man who was guarding Brewer, and that is his first personal. And Luke Whitty will be the game's first substitute.
And we can almost guess who he's coming in for. Nate Thurmond will go to the bench. I think it's a smart move by Bill Fitch to get Thurmond on the bench. He's got 3 fouls, 1:58 to go. If he can stay in range with the Celtics at the end of the first quarter, he'll be very, very happy. That 3rd foul was a big call against Thurmond. Puts him in trouble all the way through the game from here on in.
Steve Kaburski is up. He'll come in for Tommy Heinsohn. Tommy counters immediately by going to his bench. Don Nelson will get a nice round of applause. He played very well. He's replaced John Havlicek in the Celtics starting lineup today. Score is tied as Brewer pops this free throw, and he puts the Cavaliers back ahead 19-18. We're down to 1 minute and 55 seconds. So as the Celtics come up, let's again, Mindy, watch and see if they go to Cowens to see what Luke Whitty's got on defense. Here's Whitty wearing number 44, watching Dave. Cowens rolls to the basket. White throws up the shot. Whitty had position. I think Cowens got a hand on it, but it was knocked back over to the Cavaliers. Come down on the far side is Bingo Smith. JoJo White watching him. Here's Luke Whitty handling the ball on offense. Facing the basket now. Cowens gave him the shot.
Cowens will give him that shot all afternoon.
1:25. Nate Thurmond over on the Cavalier bench with 3 fouls right now. Steve Kaburski. Bingo Smith picking him up on this offensive sequence. Clemens picked off, and Charlie Scott fired.
There's a lot of contact on the picks. There's a lot of contact on the switching. And the officials at this point in the game are doing a great job of keeping it under control.
We are seesawing. It is 2019. Boston over Cleveland. We now move down inside the 1 minute mark.
You heard it. That's a no-no. You're not allowed to grab shirts out here. Nor pants, nor shoelaces, nor socks or anything else. Don't grab shirts.
Both teams already in the penalty. Brewer back at that free throw line. He's got his eye.
You probably had this question asked to you, Brent, with the man in the street. Who do you like in the playoffs? So many times. Who do you like in the playoffs? And it's not a stock answer that I tell a lot of people, but I'm sure you'll agree with me. It's the team that stays healthy. It's the team that stays away from the key injuries and gets the momentum going.
Second free throw, Mindy, put the Cavaliers back ahead, 21-20, down toward 50 seconds. Here's Cowens working against Whitty, getting inside with that jump hook. Battle under the boards. It is fierce here in the Garden. Clemens comes back down. Cavaliers can go up by 3. Off to the side to Jimmy Brewer. Cowens sliced over and influenced it. Great defensive move, and now the Celtics come back trying to get the lead before the end of the first quarter. Cross to Kaburski, not a good pass. Bingo Smith got a hand on it, and the ball went out of bounds.
And in that last attempted Celtic fast break, there were 3 Cleveland Cavaliers back on defense, and they are hustling back to cut off that fast break.
17 seconds remain on the shot clock in this sequence. Scott outside. Moon shot misses. Out by Silas to Kaburski. Kaburski comes up with 22 seconds. Charlie Scott with a third shot and puts it in. Celtics up 22-21, and now last shot time into the first quarter. Here's Bingo Smith fielding the ground ball with Kaburski on him. Woody with the pick. Cowens watching Bingo Smith, keeping an eye also on Woody. Woody wants it against Kaburski. Now he's got it, rolls the hook shot in, and the Cavaliers go up. That's the end of the first quarter. Luke Woody demanding that ball. He wanted the shot that time. Let's take a look at that, Mindy.
There's the mismatch with Kaburski. Luke Woody calling for the ball, not using the glass now. Right through the string, field goal, mismatch, Cleveland scores.
Spectacular play! Jefferson, great first step. Incredible. Indeed. That was remarkable. He is smoking. In fuego. Bumpus, showtime. Chris Paul, what an electrifying talent.
Through NBA Cares, NBA players are able to make a lasting impact, whether we're building homes or playgrounds for kids and families, stressing the importance of education, or encouraging young people to lead an active, safe, and healthy lifestyle. Our goal is the same, to help strengthen and improve our communities. On behalf of the NBA and all of its players, I'm Kobe Bryant of the Los Angeles Lakers. The NBA, where caring happens.
From the Boston Garden, Brent Musburger reporting along with Mindy Rudolph, and we have got what shapes up to be an excellent playoff game. The first quarter scoring, Jimmy Brewer high with 8 points. He has been shooting against Don Nelson, and Charlie Scott has been the hot man for the Celtics. It's 23-22, Cavaliers with a 1-point lead as we begin the second quarter here in the Garden. This series even 2 victories apiece. Snyder with the quarter's first shot, Kaburski with the first rebound. Kevin Stakem has come into the game. He'll work in the backcourt along with JoJo White. John Havlicek is suited, but he has not played yet. And Dave Cowens shoots against Luke Woody. Nate Thurman not on the floor because of 3 personal fouls. He is resting and sitting alongside Cleveland coach Bill Fitch. Nate watching the action. His team behind, 24-23. 11:25 to go. Campy Russell, a great score, has checked in for Bill Fitch. Woody facing the basket, much like Alvin Adams of Phoenix. Snyder comes up. Taken down by Cowens. Now JoJo White. Slides right side and uses the glass. Comes back with the rebound. A second chance that time. Cavaliers were careless. They'll have to get Thurman back in. Here he comes.
As soon as that happens, Brent, Thurman just ripped off his jacket. Bill Fitch does not want to get this game out of control with a 7 or 8 or 10-point lead. He wants to stay close.
26-23 right now. Celtics leading the Cavaliers. Campy Russell whipping it to Clemens. Inside to Jim Brewer. He had those 8 first-quarter points. 3-second violation. And Nate the Great checks back in. And Austin Carr will appear for the first time. He replaces Snyder.
You'll watch the Cleveland offense change now. Austin Carr will handle the ball, and Austin Carr will penetrate also. Completely different style of play. Let's look for it.
Celtics up by 3, go to work. 10:33 in the first quarter. Stakem rotates underneath. Silas and Kaburski the forwards. Kaburski up over Austin Carr. 5-point Celtic lead. Biggest lead of the basketball game so far. Got a timeout called. They're all over Bobby Rakel.
And the reason they're over Bobby Rakel, Thurman and Campy Russell both feel that Cowens threw an illegal pick that time against Campy Russell, therefore freeing the Boston player for an easy field goal.
Cleveland Cavaliers put it in play, trailing by 5 points. JoJo White is watching Austin Carr. They go over on the weak side with a double pick, and then Austin Carr comes back to the top of the circle and goes to work one-on-one against Kaburski.
Austin Carr will penetrate, as we just saw. Then he'll cause the ball to move inside, and the Celtics will have to compensate their defense.
Here are the Celtics. Cowens at the top of the circle. Battle won by Thurman. 28-25 and 9:50 to go in the first half from the Boston Garden. Campy Russell. Paul Silas watching him. Dave Cowens jumps off. So aggressive on defense, but he comes out. Picks up a forward or a guard. Here's Thurman working against Silas. Takes one shot. And Kaburski with control. Outlet to Kevin Stakem. Over to JoJo White. He was open all along, Mindy. He just stood over there waiting for the ball.
Cowens saw him. He never put the ball to the floor more often than he had to, and just a scoop pass over to JoJo White, causing an easy field goal, hitting the open man.
Campy Russell waiting. Boston very aggressive on defense right now. That shot clock winding down. 5 seconds left. Campy Russell one-on-one. Fall away, hit him. His specialty.
And that's the thing that Tommy Heinz has said as we were talking to him, Brett, before the game. You do everything right against Campy Russell, any kind of defense, yet he'll fall away from you on a shot and go ahead and convert the 25-footer.
And he's right back, Mendy, with another chance. He's got it in a 3-point play. Just what you were talking about on the miss by Stakem. He came right back down, and he's got a chance to tie the game up.
Let's pick this up. There's Campy Russell. Now he'll get JoJo in the air. JoJo with the body bump. Campy with a possibility of converting that particular play into a 3-point play.
JoJo White goes over and sits down. That's because he picked up those 3 personal fouls. And we are tied because of Campy Russell, who has scored 2 field goals and a free throw. 5 quick points. 8 minutes and 38 seconds to go in the first half. Don Nelson facing the basket. Stakem cut off by Foots Walker. Here's Stakem against Walker. Now Kaburski comes over. Shot clock down towards 5. Cowens up against Thurman with a miss.
And I'll tell you, that third foul on Thurman didn't seem to change his style of play because he really went after a block on that shot by Cowens.
Austin Carr drives baseline. Here's Campy Russell. Tommy Heinsohn wanted an offensive charge called that time. Stakem passing toward Nelson. Campy got a hand on it. Scott drives, hits Kaburski. Off the iron, and it's Jimmy Brewer down with it. We're tied. 7:56 to go. Only one team foul against Boston. Foots Walker offense on Cowens. Cleveland bench can't believe it.
They are up and they are stomping and they are screaming, and Bill Fitch is just looking to the heavens saying, what do I have to do to get a call? But in all fairness to the official in that call, Footsy Walker did challenge the defensive player and committed the offensive foul.
Colonial National coming up next here on CBS. Charlie Scott against Austin Carr. Celtics not hitting their field goals right now. Tied at 30, and it has been Austin Carr and Campy Russell, the 2 men who have all year come off of Bill Fitch's bench and done the job. We've got the Cavaliers back in it. Pass from Russell to Thurman, set that play up.
You just saw the classic pick and roll that you hear so much in basketball language.
Nelson tied at 32. 7:05 to go in the first half. Cavaliers with that pattern offense of theirs, and Paul Silas getting ready to check back into the Celtics. Oh, Campy Russell. Kaburski was all over him, and he still hit it.
That's that fall-away jumper that is just almost impossible to defend against, Brent.
7 quick points, a great assist on that pick and roll that Mendy pointed out. 34-32. 6:39. Bill Fitch's bench is definitely a key factor here. Stakem drives baseline. Thurman was there on defense. Ball goes out of bounds, and the Celtics regain control.
And not only was Thurman there on defense, but Thurman saved a field goal. It was an easy field goal, an easy turnaround layup. And Nate, playing with 3 fouls, hasn't seemed to have hindered his play at all, Brent.
No,
he's out there hustling, playing defense, blocking shots, going for rebounds, setting picks, everything he has to do.
Through NBA Cares, the NBA family demonstrates its responsibility as citizens of the global community. Whether it's our Basketball Without Borders program that takes us all over the world, or our efforts to strengthen and improve communities here at home, we work to leave a lasting impact every place we go. It's our way of showing that the NBA cares. On behalf of the NBA and all of its players, I'm Ray Allen of the Boston Celtics. The NBA, where caring happens.
Our situation in the Boston Garden is this. We've got 6:30 to go. Cavaliers lead the Celtics 34-32. Sanas coming in on the drive, and there's an offensive foul call.
Now that's consistency. You'll watch Campy Russell now, number 20. He'll just keep backing up, backing up. Silas going over. Offensive foul.
Fritz Walker comes back at the Celtics, moves inside of Kevin Stakem, and with the miss, Cowens comes down.
Now, if there's one thing that Fitch does not want is one-on-one basketball, and he'll let Footsy Walker know about it. Nobody else handled the ball that time. But Footsy Walker.
And the inside. 6 minutes, and we're tied at 34. Bingo Smith, you see Charlie Scott just reached out a hand and said, get out of my way. You tried that maneuver once in the first quarter, and it wasn't successful. Here's Foots Walker, working in Fitch's backcourt along with Austin Carr. Campy Russell, who's been magnificent offensively, fall away. Oh, the Michigan Star is at it again.
And that's one thing about a streak shooter. When he hits his first 2 or 3 shots, he's not going to stop. He gets better with more confidence. He'll just shoot them up. I wouldn't be surprised if Tommy Heinsohn will make a defensive change against Campy Russell.
And I see Jimmy Ard standing over there just as you say that, Mindy. We'll see if they're going to team up Ard and Cowens or replace Cowens. David with a miss, and there was contact. Loose ball foul underneath.
Foul against Kaburski. Cleveland will pick up the ball and bring it up court.
Kaburski will go out, and here is Jimmy Ard. So here is the first alignment change for Tommy Heinsohn. He's going to experiment a bit here today. Ard and Cowens working together right now, and Ard is here on Campy Russell just as Mindy Rudolph predicted. So he'll try to cool off Campy Russell. Austin Carr being watched by Charlie Scott. Scott must be careful. Bingo Smith back to Foots Walker. Knocked away. Austin back up. Throws it in, and it's 38-34.
He threw a rainbow up, Brent, because he saw Charlie Scott coming for the ball. Really a higher arc than Austin Carr will attempt, but it scored.
What a difference this Cavalier bench is making. It's 38-34. Cleveland leading. We come down toward 4:40. Silas, Ard, and Cowens, and Stakem for the backcourt. And Charlie Scott controls. Second chance. Bingo Smith was there. Jimmy Ard underneath, cleaned up. A third chance opportunity. Ard put it in. It's 38-36 now. 4:25 left in the first half. Campy, Russell, and Ard collided, and it was offense called against Campy.
Let's watch this now. You'll see the elbow. There it is by Campy Russell. That's not a team foul. Cleveland has no team fouls as we go into 4:23. Boston with 2 team fouls.
Coming the other way because of that elbow which was thrown over there. So an offensive foul at the other end. Butch Walker comes to the right side of the lane. Now he switches back way out to the top of the circle. Shot clock rotating down toward 10. Cavaliers will set a play. Carr into Nate Thurman. Thurman rolls the long hook shot off the glass and in.
And Nate the Great using the glass going over Cowens.
3:55. Who are the great hook shot artists? Maybe McCauley. Oh, everybody wants to shoot the hook. Silas. We had Easy Ed McCauley, Clyde LaVellette. Now here we got Nate Thurman, Paul Silas. See if somebody else is going to try a hook shot. It's 40-38. Cavaliers lead it 3:35. Down inside of 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Bingo comes back outside, and the whistle was blown. 3-second violation.
That's the 4th 3-second violation we've had, and that's what happens when you deliberately pass the ball and overpass. You've got to take the shot when you're open.
2 against each team, and hold on as Charlie Scott began his move. There was contact.
That will be no field goal. The foul took place before the attempt. Therefore, Boston will get the ball back. That is Cleveland's first team foul in the second quarter.
Foul by Austin Cardman. He didn't have any. None on the team side. He wasn't going to send him to the free throw line. So they certainly had one to give there. Cowens saves it back to Jimmy Ard. Celtics can tie it if they can hit here. Stakem inside. Pass to Cowens. Cowens thought he was going to shoot. And as Cowens came up, he was called
an offensive foul, and the Boston fans are up. Let's watch this on the replay now. Stakem penetrating, will pass the ball off to Cowens. Jimmy Ard will touch it. Cowens, as he goes to the board, a left-handed arm into the body, offensive foul.
Call for his second foul that time. Cavaliers lead it by 2 and 2:55 to go in the first half. Russell puts it on the floor, and Jimmy Ard was there on defense.
And we're going to have another offensive foul.
AIDS is devastating children and young people's lives around the world.
Millions are losing their parents, teachers, brothers, and sisters.
They need medicine, food, education, and protection.
UNICEF works in over 150 countries
to stop the devastation of AIDS.
We can create a better future.
Unite for children, unite against AIDS.
Rebound the ball. We got a runner. We got a runner.
Mendy just received word from the Colonial National in Fort Worth. Lee Trevino has lost a stroke, bogeyed the 4th hole. He is 9 under. And, of course, the final round is coming up here on CBS after this basketball game. Collision inside. Talk about contact. Scott, who has not scored in this quarter, finally gets a field goal. And a big one. Tied at 40. We come to 2:35. Left here to play in the first half in the Boston Garden. Charlie Scott defensing Austin Carr. Cavaliers set a play. Thurman waiting patiently over here with Cowens watching him. Cavaliers come down to 5 seconds.
And this foul will absolutely murder Cleveland. That's the 4th foul on Nate Thurman, an offensive foul called by Richie Powers. Thurman is absolutely disgusted and distraught. And I've got to say, that was a little bit of a chintzy foul call.
Nate Thurman with 4 personals goes out, and Bill Fitch yells both ways. Let's have some called against Dave Cowens down there. That's his complaint.
Bill Fitch was complaining that time, Brent, that Nate was being held, and therefore he was pushed into a move.
John Lambert, the rookie, will try to replace him. Offense called against Jimmy Yard, and it is rough here in the Boston Garden.
And would you say we have a lot of offensive fouls out here? There it is again, another offensive foul. This may set a record this particular quarter. There are probably more offensive fouls than defensive fouls.
1:58, a tie game. Austin Carr outside. Cowens with position on Lambert. Here come the Celtics on the move. Jimmy Yard pops. They go up by 2 as he hits it. 1:45 right now.
Jimmy Yard threw a line drive at that hoop. He almost broke the glass on that play.
Jimmy Yard from Cincinnati has been a factor here since coming off the bench. Campy Russell has been quieted down also. Here's Foots Walker. Cross now to the rookie Lambert. Back now to Russell. He goes down. Silas was there, and he need him for his 3rd personal. Not yet in the penalty. That was the 4th against Boston with 1:27 to go. Hard. Checks Walker. Drives on Cowens. Dave Cowens with control.
If that's one weakness that Butchie Walker has is a tendency to go one-on-one.
Here's Charlie Scott from the left baseline with a jump shot. Battle for the loose ball. Second chance. Silas off the Cowens. David could not save it. The Cavaliers will put it in play. They trail it by 2 points. 1:02 to go in the first half. John Havlicek, who did not start and has not played because of that injured foot. But it is possible that we will see him in the second half. That's the Celtics strategy. Wait until the Cavaliers are perhaps just a little bit tired and then hit them with Hondo. 42-40. Celtics lead the Cavaliers. 50 seconds to go in the first half. Brewer off to Austin Carr. Cowens came out. Carr. Second chance goes in.
And they are battling for those rebounds. I'll tell you, everybody who's in position is going for the ball. Nobody's backing off of anybody out here.
It is a war here in the Boston Garden. Cowens working against the rookie Lambert. Muscles inside. Offense called against Dave Cowens.
And there is another offensive foul. And that was a good call.
His
Cowens went
foul.
right through him, and we have a technical foul against Dave Cowens. Cowens was unhappy with the call. He said something to Richie Powers that Powers did not like, and we're going to have a technical foul. Now let's watch this. Cowens will back Lambert to the baseline and go up and over. Powers had a great angle on the play. He called the play absolutely correct, and Cowens reacted as Carr misses the second technical foul.
Bingo Smith shot the first one after the tee on Tommy Heinsohn, Mendy.
So the officials are going to keep this game under control at any cost.
And it may be a high cost. Emotions are running high in the East. Boston and Cleveland tied at 2 games. Ard was on Campy Russell, and they'll come the other way.
And we have another offensive foul. Unbelievable second quarter.
I can't remember more offensive fouls being called in a game this year that we've done, Mendy. It has been unbelievable. Fierce action here on the part of players from Boston and Cleveland. It is tied at 42. Last shot time for the Celtics. Like to have the lead. Butch Walker, not much time, just a second. Nelson comes up firing, and they will go into their locker rooms tied at halftime. So the situation in the East is this. Boston won the first 2 games of the series. Cleveland went home and evened it up. Now it's game 5, and at halftime, it's still even, 42 all. Halftime statistics, Mendy.
And the field goal percentage, Boston 42, Cleveland. Of course, the big stat completely is Nate Thurmond with 4 fouls, JoJo White with 3 fouls, Cowens with 3 fouls. Neither team shooting particularly well. Russell, Brewer, Snyder, Clemens, completely balanced scoring, which has been Cleveland's style of play all year as we begin the second half, Brent.
Cavaliers with possession. And again, as Sonny Hill pointed out at halftime, baseline to baseline defense on the part of Tommy Heinsohn's Celtics. Tied at 42 as we begin the final 24 minutes of regulation time. Charlie Scott all over Clemens. Shot clock down inside of 5. Cavaliers will have to hurry. They've got just a second to go, and Snyder hit it at the buzzer.
I don't know how he got it off. 2 Celtics were around him. In fact, he didn't even have a handle on the ball, and yet converted.
So that sets the stage for what should be a magnificent last half here in the Boston Garden. Cowens against Thurmond. Rolls the left-handed hook. Jimmy Brewer inside at the boards. His specialty. 44-42 right now. Cleveland over Boston. 11-13. So it is Clemens, Thurmond, Smith, Snyder, and Brewer on the court for the Cavaliers. And it is Silas, Cowens, White, Nelson, and Scott on the floor for the Boston Celtics. Bingo outside. From the side, it is Don Nelson. John Havlicek has not played in this game if you have joined us late because of an injury. But I expect him to play before the second half is over. Intercepted on the bad pass. Jimmy Brewer was standing right there. Cavaliers can double their lead, up by 2 right now. Here's their floor leader, Jimmy Clemens from Ohio State. And Scott is picked off by Thurmond. Snyder forced back outside, so the Cavaliers don't get it going. Brewer from outside, a 4-point lead. He has shot very well in this game.
Exceptionally well. That's not Jimmy Brewer's type of shot, but he's going to take it as long as he keeps hitting. He'll look for it.
Now the crowd trying to urge the Celtics on. They have not scored yet in the second half. Bingo Smith with Silas, and Silas on the drive came down the lane, and there was a whistle underneath, a pushing foul.
Foul against Bingo Smith.
His second, Mindy.
And we talked earlier, Brent, about the offensive fouls in the second quarter. There were 8 offensive fouls called that second quarter. Let's look and see if this pattern continues.
Dave Cowens from the corner. It's 46-44. Cleveland over Boston. You said 8? Offensive fouls, I can't remember that in a game this year.
4 against each team, Brent.
We usually don't get 8 in a game. Here, Brewer off now to Nate Thurman. Thurman with those 4 fouls, so very important. Bingo! Off, and it's Nelson. And Brewer was standing right there, and they've called a foul.
And not only was Brewer standing right there, but Bobby Rakel was standing right there. Let's see it now. This is a backcourt foul. Bottom of your screen, Brewer reaches in, grabs the ball, and grabs the wrist, and we're going to have a timeout on the court, Brent.
Jimmy Brewer has 2 fouls. Nate Thurman has 4. Cavaliers go over toward Bill Fitch. And, of course, at the other end, as Mindy told you, 3 on Collins.
And Gundy calls a play a triangle. That usually means something for Ewing. Adam Houston. Houston ducks under. Got it! With 8 left. You get a look at the clock as the ball is going up. There's 2. The ball dancing around. Comes down. This time Allen Houston is legit. He is the hero on a tough day. He seals the deal with 8/10 of a second left.
Here comes Avery Johnson. A title's at stake. Spurs are closing in. He wants Duncan. Got it on the entry pass. Double team. Elliott on top. Elliott bluffs, drives, kicks. Avery Johnson in the lead. Yes. Avery Johnson drills it from the baseline, and the Spurs have regained the lead.
The little guy sticks that dagger right toward your heart on every occasion.
The San Antonio Spurs win their first ever NBA championship. It was a 10-point Spurs lead. Barkley picks and rolls and scores. Robinson on Barkley. It's his game to win, or we go to overtime. Barkley, 20-footer, yes! Charles Barkley with an MVP jump shot. And the Suns have won the Western Conference semifinal 4-2. Thomas wants to get it in quickly.
And now there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ, lays it in. Right up, 1 second left. What a play by Bird. Bird stole the inbounding pass. Laid it up to DJ. DJ laid it up and in. And Boston has a 1-point lead with 1 second left. Oh my, this place is going crazy.
So after 4 games, obviously, you can see that Bill Fitch's bench has been more productive than Tommy Heinz's. Mindy, you were telling me a story about Bill Fitch and referee Bob Rakel, who's working this game.
That last foul was called by Bobby Rakel against Bill Fitch's team. And if some of our fans remember the incident 3 or 4 years ago when Bill Fitch, enraged by a call by Rakel, threw a chair out on the court. Of course, he was fined heavily. He was ejected. And that summer, he went around giving speeches at luncheons. And he regretted the chair incident. He mentioned to all the people he spoke to how sorry he was about it. And the thing that he was sorry about was that he missed Rakel when it hit the floor.
That free throw by Don Nelson made it 46-45. I thought there were times in the first half when both coaches were going to be throwing chairs at Rakel. 9:47 to go in the 3rd quarter. It is an intense battle, and both coaches